What should we expect out of court today, Phil?
I think the most interesting thing will be just how hard the questions come from Judge Nathan. How much does she say to Elon Musk's attorneys? Seriously? He signed an agreement with the SEC. He openly mocks the SEC. He did not live up to the terms of the SEC according to the allegations or the charges from the SEC. So if he's not going to live up to the agreement that he signed, what do I need to do to send a message to him? Or does she sit there and say, you know what? He didn't really mean it. It was a minor infraction. We'll let him go.
H, I mean, how do you verbalize a robust defense of how Musk has treated Twitter, at least?
Well, look, stepping back, this is such a waste of time for Elon Musk, for Tesla shareholders, and it's Elon Musk's fault. I'm sorry.
Okay,
He's got to be more disciplined about this. I don't know how to say it. What he has accomplished in his life is beyond extraordinary. It is not a knock on that to say, dude, you're running a huge public company. That actually does restrain you a little bit in your communications, and that's okay. There are other models. You get more people involved, a more senior chief financial officer, more people who can help run the company. This is just it's a statement of what's going on at Tesla. This company needs to take the next step, just get much more disciplined all around.
And the market has gone back and forth on this in terms of being more or less forgiving of this behavior based on what else is going on at the company, it seems to me anyway. So, Phil, shortfall in deliveries. Right. Forever, you can go back 5 years and say the bull case on Tesla was 500,000 cars in 2020.
Yeah,
that was the beacon, and now it's kind of time to figure out if you're on a path for that.
And do you buy into 360 to 400,000 in terms of deliveries this year?
Yeah.
We were talking earlier today with Gene Munster from Loop Ventures, and he said, I don't think they know what the demand is out there. And that's the primary question that investors have to ask themselves. If they can't deliver on the first quarter, they clearly did not, expectations of the first quarter, how do you have any confidence that the remainder of this year they'll average 99,000 deliveries per quarter? Where is that confidence coming from?
Farhad, you know, we're talking about all of this from New York with a Wall Street perspective. But is there a generation of disruptors out in California who want to see him win this?
Possibly, but they already bought their Model 3s, and so I don't think they're going to save him. I mean, I think it's a real question. Like, what happens if demand is not there? What can they do? These cars takes a while to make new cars. It takes there's going to be a whole bunch of new competition coming from big car makers around the world in the electric space. I don't really know. We've presumed for several years that as long as they can make these cars, people would buy them. But they've been so late on it that they're running into all this competition, and I don't think we can presume that anymore, especially, with the federal subsidies running out. And then there's also this other thing where, around here, everyone really does have a Model 3. They're all over, and I wonder if they're just sort of in the markets where they're big, they'll become, slightly less cool, and people will move on to all the newer electrics that are coming out.
Phil, you're shaking.
I was going to say, he brings up a great point. Also, Tesla lit the fuse in terms of expectations. When he came out, when they introduced the Model 3, he said, we've got 450,000 reservation holders out there. And every time on a conference call, whether it was me or another journalist would bring up reservations, he increasingly was like, I don't want to talk about reservations. That's not important. Well, you lit the fuse. You were the one who said we have this demand out there. That's why the market expects that update. And there's never been a clear understanding since then just how many people are really interested in buying a Tesla.
Is there a contingent within the board, at least, that says we kind of like this guy acting aggressively in ways that we haven't seen CEOs behave?
You bet. I've not talked to him personally, but I know from talking with people, the belief is that somebody like Larry Ellison loves the fact that Elon Musk is Elon Musk. He is the magic sauce at that company. Let him run this company. And there's something to be said for that. That's a legitimate argument in terms of what he's built here. You know what he's done at SpaceX. Yep. I mean, this guy is a genius in many ways. Having said that, as you mentioned, Henry, you sign agreements when you run a publicly traded company. You've got to live by those rules.
And I think Larry Ellison is actually a good comp to focus on. Larry Ellison is incredibly outspoken. He's incredibly aggressive, but he has always had incredibly competent managers actually running the company day to day. Who else works at Tesla? Do you have any idea? The management turns over all the time. Nobody knows. It's a one-man show. It's time, if this company actually wants to be with us for the next 30 to 40 years, to build a real management team under Elon. Then Elon can go do his thing.
Which I think, just to wrap all of this up, I mean, when you've got a note from J.P. Morgan today saying Tesla just undermined Elon Musk's defense against the SEC with those numbers they put out last night. I mean, Phil, how real or is the potential risk that Elon Musk is removed as CEO? And if so, what then?
Well, he already lost the chairmanship, so you know that that's possible. I think that this gets back to my first point, which is, what does Judge Nathan do? How do you put, if she thinks that he's contempt of court, and she says, okay, let's send a message to him. What message can you send that you think that he will honestly live up to? He signed an agreement that he did not live up to if she finds him in contempt of court. Therefore, the question becomes, what do you do? What message do you strip him of the CEO title? I don't know. I mean, that seems extreme, but at the same time, what are you going to do?
Phil, thanks for setting us up. We'll see what happens.
Heading over to court.
Yes, we'll see you this afternoon.